Dear teachers and classmates, hello everyone. I am a student, Ma Yuan. My research topic is to explore how user-generated content, UGC-driven emotional brand marketing can shape cross-generational brand loyalty in the healthy snack industry. Chapter 1. Research, Background, and Problem Statement. The Chinese healthy snack market is large, with sales exceeding 120 billion yuan in 2023, and nearly three-quarters of consumers prioritize health attributes when making purchases. Consumers no longer rely solely on official generated content, OGC, which often appears as corporate advertising. On the contrary, they found that non-standardized UGC, such as slightly imperfect product photos or original production records, can establish deeper trust more effectively than expensive technological solutions, such as blockchain traceability. We need to understand how the X, Y, and Z generations perceive and respond to these real signals differently. This directly leads to the core objective of my research. Chapter 1. Research Objectives and Significance. The main objective of this study is to accurately identify how UGC-driven emotional marketing can influence brand loyalty in the healthy snack industry across generations. In theoretical terms, this work helps fill the research gap regarding the emotional and moral signals conveyed by UGC. In practical terms, the research results provide immediately available strategies for small and medium-sized enterprises in the healthy snack industry to demonstrate how small brands can cultivate an intensely loyal customer base through targeted emotional marketing with larger advertising budgets, ultimately helping brands reduce marketing costs while enhancing customer loyalty through generation-specific content strategies. Chapter 1. Limitations and Scope of the Study. First, this is a single case study that focuses solely on the Admire brand, which targets the health-conscious consumer segment. This means that the research findings may not be generalizable to all healthy snack brands, especially those targeting the mass market. Secondly, the sample size is tiny, comprising 6 highly loyal users extracted from the private domain community. We intentionally excluded low-loyalty consumers and consumers in lower-tier markets, which may have led us to overlook other trust formation mechanisms. Finally, we must consider the time factor. The data was collected in October 2025, while social media algorithms and consumer preferences are constantly changing. The research conclusion is a snapshot of a particular moment, and future trends may influence its long-term applicability. Chapter 2. Theoretical Framework. Our theoretical framework is built on 3 core pillars. First, there is the theory of brand personality. It holds that a brand's enduring moral traits, for example, integrity and kindness, have a greater impact on consumers than its refined image. Next is signal theory. We believe that authentic UGC serves as a trustworthy and high-fidelity signal, far more effective than standardized advertising. Finally, the theory of generational groups helps explain why these signals are interpreted differently. In the context of healthy snacks, kindness means prioritizing consumers' health, for example, by avoiding additives. Honesty means fulfilling commitments, for example, by maintaining clean labels. These concepts lay the foundation for the design of research methods. Chapter 2. Literature Blank and Conceptual Focus. This study is fundamentally driven by three key gaps in the literature on UGC and brand loyalty. First, the literature places undue emphasis on functional attributes. How does the clean label convey kindness, not just health? This is a crucial conceptual shift. Secondly, most studies treat UGC as a purely quantitative indicator, measuring the number of shares and likes. We lack qualitative analysis on how UGC actually shapes brand personality, perception, its integrity, and kindness. Finally, although everyone is discussing intergenerational trust differences, the explanations are often vague. Why does Generation Z value imperfection, and why does Generation X demand traditional evidence? Chapter 3: Research, Design, and Data Collection. We are not looking for objective values, but rather for how consumers continually reshape their relationships through interactions with brands. Our design is a single case study. We used a purposive sampling method to select 6 highly loyal users, those who purchase at least 5 times a year, spanning across generation X, Y, and Z. This ensures that we capture the most focused users and necessary cross-generational comparisons. Chapter 3: Data Collection, Projection Techniques, and Deep Interviews. The data was collected through semi-structured, in-depth interviews, with each session lasting 30 to 45 minutes and conducted through online meetings. Researchers will display specific UGC visual stimuli, 3 sets of images below. Panel A: Imperfect Visual, to stimulate discussion of authenticity. Panel B: Place of Origin Vision, used to stimulate discussions about integrity foundation. Panel C: Clean Label Visual, display a close-up of the minimalist ingredient list on the back of the product packaging, used to stimulate discussions about kindness conscience. Chapter 3: Data Analysis Methods. Our analysis employs thematic analysis following the established methodology of Brown and Clark, and uses the Mevo software. The output of this process is a comprehensive coding tree that displays cognitive differences in UGC content across generations. This detailed analysis enables us to move from raw data to core discoveries, which I will present by generation. We now turn to the core of our research, the key findings that emerged from our thematic analysis of interview data. The central finding is that each generation uses fundamentally different perspectives to evaluate the authenticity and compassion of UGC. For Generation Z, authenticity exists in imperfection. This rejection of refined corporate marketing is consistent with their values of resisting social pressure and pursuing authentic self-expression. In contrast, Generation Y focuses on kindness and interprets cleanliness, labels, and ingredient transparency as ethical choices for their brand. They see the brand's self-produced avoidance of additives as a sacrificial act, which alleviates their health anxiety, especially as novice parents. Finally, Generation X builds their trust on a foundation of integrity, verified by tangible evidence. They seek traceability, soil, traditional craftsmanship to link this rooted truth with the pre-industrial moral order. They believe that those who respect the land will not deceive others. Chapter 5: Conclusion and Management Significance. The key point is that the universal loyalty pathway from emotional resonance to trust transformation and then to loyalty formation is activated by. This means that small and medium-sized enterprises, as in our case study, can overcome resource constraints by adopting targeted cross-generational UGC strategies. This study directly addresses the core question of how UGC-driven emotional brand marketing can shape loyalty across generations through in-depth qualitative analysis. The research concludes that under the dual pressures of information overload and trust deficit, brand character has replaced brand image as the fundamental driver of loyalty. Trust reconstruction occurs when consumers perceive that the brand's UGC recognizes, understands, and addresses their ethical anxieties. This is not only the achievement of commercial transactions, but also the conclusion of a social contract. My presentation is over. Thank you for listening. I welcome any questions